Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. It starts innocently enough, a Tuesday morning, one of those dreary, cold days where everything feels slower. I'm rummaging through the closet, looking for my favorite sweater before heading out. That's when I see it, an elegant, deep red bottle of perfume, nestled beside a velvet jewelry box. Neither of them are mine, and I sure as hell didn't buy them for her. My heart races as I stare at them, their existence a quiet but powerful accusation. I pull out the jewelry box and open it carefully, my hands shaking. Inside is a delicate diamond necklace, a piece I know would have cost me a month's salary. I close the box, my mind reeling. Who gave this to her? And more importantly, why didn't she tell me about it? I leave for work, but my thoughts are consumed by those two things sitting in the closet. Perfume and jewelry, two items that scream intimacy, luxury, and someone else's touch. My gut tells me something is off, but I can't bring myself to confront her. Not yet. I need to know more. Valentine's Day is just a few days away. The perfect opportunity to see what's really going on. That evening, Sarah comes home late. She smells different, her usual light floral scent replaced by something rich, exotic, the same scent from the red bottle in our closet. She moves past me quickly, almost too quickly, like she's trying to avoid eye contact. A knot forms in my stomach, but I play it cool. "Hey, you're late," I say casually, watching her closely. "Work ran late." "You know how it is," she says, her voice breezy, as she kicks off her shoes and tosses her bag onto the chair. I nod, though something about her explanation feels thin, barely held together by the thread of her calm demeanor. I decide to stay quiet for now. No need to raise suspicions. Valentine's Day arrives, and I make my plan. I'll play the loving husband, the unsuspecting partner. I want her to think I haven't noticed a thing. Dinner reservations, flowers, the whole act. But all I really care about is watching her, seeing if she slips. The night starts off normal enough. We sit at a fancy restaurant, her laughter seems genuine, her smile soft. But I catch the small things, the way her phone vibrates, how she checks it under the table, smiling at something she won't share with me. I don't ask. Not yet. "Who's texting?" I ask casually, sipping my wine. She glances up, startled for a moment, then smooths it over with a practiced smile. "Just a friend from work. Nothing important." I nod, pretending to believe her, but the game has already started. When we get home, I watch her closely. She's more animated than usual, her mood unusually light, almost giddy. Her jacket slips off her shoulders as she heads to the bedroom, revealing something I hadn't expected, a faint, reddish mark on her neck. A hickey. My stomach churns, and I feel a wave of cold fury wash over me, but I keep my face neutral. I can't confront her now, not without proof. I need more. I need to be sure. That night, she falls asleep quickly, as if the weight of her secrets is nothing compared to the exhaustion of her double life. I sit beside her, the dim light from the lamp casting shadows across the room. My mind spins with questions, scenarios, all pointing to one truth: Sarah is cheating. And I'm going to make sure she regrets it. The next day, I put my plan into motion. I start small. I call in sick to work, giving me time to check her phone, to dig through her emails. But she's covered her tracks well, passwords, hidden apps, the works. She's no amateur at this. That's when I get an idea. I remember how obsessed she's been with fitness lately. Her smartwatch. It tracks everything, her workouts, her steps, her locations. And sure enough, when I sync it to my laptop, I find what I've been looking for. On the nights she claims to be working late, her tracker shows her miles away from the office. The pieces fall into place. The perfume, the jewelry, the hickey, it all makes sense now. Sarah is seeing someone else. The betrayal is real, and it cuts deeper than I imagined. But I'm not going to confront her. No, I have something else in mind. The day I find out everything, she comes home later than usual. Her mood is too light, too carefree for someone who's supposedly been working overtime. I watch her move through the house, humming softly to herself, oblivious to the storm brewing behind my calm exterior. As she changes in the bedroom, I see it, the same hickey, only fresher, deeper. My fists clench at my sides, but I force myself to stay composed. Tonight, I will start my revenge. She has no idea what's coming. I'm heading out for a bit, I say casually, grabbing my keys. She barely looks up, nodding as she continues scrolling through her phone. Okay, see you later. I leave, but only for a few minutes. I wait outside, watching through the window. Not 5 minutes after I'm gone, she's on the phone, her voice hushed, her smile giddy. Yeah, he's gone. I'll see you soon. That's all I need to hear. I don't know who he is, but I know exactly what I'm going to do. By the time I come back home, it's late. Sarah is asleep, her phone tucked under her pillow. I move silently through the room, careful not to wake her. She has no idea that tomorrow, everything will start to fall apart. I'm going to destroy her little secret, piece by piece. And by the time I'm done, there will be nothing left of the life she's built behind my back. Morning comes with an eerie calm. Sarah stirs beside me, completely unaware of the plans running through my head. Her phone lights up with a notification, but she's still fast asleep, her soft breathing the only sound in the room. I glance over at her, wondering how long she's been playing this game, wondering how she manages to sleep so peacefully. I slip out of bed quietly and head to the kitchen. Coffee brews in the background, the familiar scent filling the room, but it does nothing to settle the storm inside me. My mind races as I think about what to do next. By the time Sarah comes down, I've got my game face on. I hand her a mug of coffee, and she smiles, kissing me lightly on the cheek as if nothing has changed. Thanks, babe, she says, her voice light. She takes a sip and leans against the counter, scrolling through her phone, the same one she uses to make plans with him. How's work today? Busy? I ask casually, watching her for any sign, any hint of what she's hiding. She glances up briefly. Yeah, pretty busy. I'll probably be home late again. My jaw tightens, but I force a smile. Don't work too hard. She gives me a quick smile before heading back upstairs to get ready. I watch her go, the lie hanging heavy between us. She doesn't know that I've already started my plan, that everything is in motion. Later that afternoon, I'm sitting in my car across from her office. I watch as she leaves, glancing around nervously before heading in the opposite direction of where she claims to be going. My hands grip the steering wheel, but I keep my cool. This is all part of the plan. I follow her, keeping a safe distance. She drives to a small hotel on the outskirts of town. It's not a luxury place, far from it, but that doesn't surprise me. They probably don't want to be seen somewhere fancy. The anger inside me grows, but I swallow it down. This is what I need. I'm not just after her confession. I want to destroy every ounce of trust she has in me, just like she's been destroying mine. I park a few blocks away and walk to the hotel, staying out of sight. Sarah doesn't see me. She's too busy checking her phone, smiling at whatever message she's just received. I wait until she's gone inside, then I approach the front desk. Excuse me, I'm looking for a woman who just came in, dark hair, green coat. She's meeting someone here. Could you tell me which room? The receptionist eyes me warily. I'm sorry, sir. I can't give out guest information. I take out my phone and quickly flash a picture of Sarah. I'm her husband. She left something important at home, and I need to get it to her. Please. I don't want to make a scene. The woman's eyes soften, and she glances at the guest list. After a moment, she scribbles something on a piece of paper and slides it across the desk. Room 213. I thank her and walk toward the elevator, my heart pounding in my chest. This is it. I'm going to see it with my own eyes. Standing outside the door to room 213, I hesitate for a moment. My hand hovers over the handle, every instinct screaming at me to kick the door down, to burst in and confront her. But I don't. That's not my style. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of seeing my pain. Instead, I take out my phone and start recording. Slowly, I crack the door open, just enough to see inside. There she is, sitting on the edge of the bed, laughing softly at something he says. He's standing in front of her, a tall guy, well-built, probably works out more than I do. I feel a surge of jealousy, but I push it aside. I can't afford to lose control now. Sarah leans forward, placing her hand on his chest, and they kiss. The sight makes me sick, but I keep the camera rolling. This is the evidence I need. I step back quietly, closing the door without a sound. My hands shake as I stop the recording and pocket my phone. I've seen enough. That night, I come home before she does. I sit in the living room, waiting, the weight of what I've just witnessed settling over me. My thoughts are racing, but one thing is clear: this isn't going to end in a simple confrontation. No, I'm going to make her pay for this. When Sarah finally walks through the door, she's smiling, her hair slightly tousled. She greets me with the same breezy tone she's used for weeks, the lie so natural now that it barely registers to her as deception. "Hey, babe," she says, dropping her bag by the door. "Sorry I'm late again. You know how work is." I nod, not trusting myself to speak just yet. I watch her move around the house, humming to herself, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing inside me. She's comfortable, too comfortable. She thinks she's gotten away with it. "How was your day?" she asks, glancing at me from the kitchen as she pours herself a glass of wine. I lean back in my chair, watching her closely. "Busy. But I managed." She gives me a distracted smile and takes a sip of her wine. "Yeah, same here." I can't stand the sight of her anymore, the sound of her voice grating against every nerve in my body. But I'm not ready to reveal my hand. Not yet. "I'm thinking of taking some time off work," I say suddenly, testing the waters. She looks up, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. "Really? Why?" "I don't know," I shrug. "Just need a break, I guess. Thought we could spend more time together. Maybe go on a trip." Her smile falters for a second before she recovers. "Oh, yeah. That sounds nice." Nice. The word tastes bitter on my tongue. I see right through her now, every word she says, every look she gives me, it's all a part of her lie. She's not scared yet, but she will be. The next morning, I start phase 2 of my plan. While she's out, I make a few calls. I talk to my lawyer. I start moving money from our joint account into one she doesn't know about. I start locking down everything I can: assets, passwords, accounts. If she's going to betray me, she's going to lose everything in the process. By the time she gets home, I'm calm, almost detached. She sits down beside me on the couch, her hand brushing against mine, and I barely react. Her touch disgusts me now. "Did you make dinner plans for tonight?" she asks, glancing over at me with that same easy smile. I look at her, really look at her, wondering how long it will take for her to realize her world is about to come crashing down. "I'll take care of it," I say smoothly, already knowing that tonight is going to be the beginning of the end for her. She nods, oblivious, as if we're still the same couple we were a few months ago. But that's the thing about betrayal, it changes everything, and it does so without warning. And I'm just getting started. Sarah leaves early the next morning, giving me the same kiss on the cheek, the same fake smile she's been wearing for weeks. I watch her go, my mind racing through everything I've put in place. Today is the day I begin my move. The first cut. It's going to be subtle, almost invisible, but it will be enough to shake her, enough to make her wonder if something's off, but not enough to make her suspicious of me. Once she's gone, I grab my phone and call my lawyer. Let's move forward with the transfer, I say, my voice steady. I want the accounts separated by the end of the week. You got it. Do you need anything else on the financial side? No. Just make sure she won't see any red flags when she checks our accounts. Understood. I hang up and sit in silence for a moment. The cold satisfaction of control settles over me. She's out there living her double life, but by the time I'm done, she'll realize she's been standing on quicksand all along. Later in the day, I head into town. There's no need to be in a rush, no need to act out of anger. I'm patient. I've already made sure I'm one step ahead of her. Now I need to watch the fallout unfold slowly, piece by piece. I meet with a few of my close friends, ones I know won't question anything too much. Over drinks, I bring up Sarah casually, watching for their reactions. So, have you guys noticed anything off with Sarah lately? I ask, swirling my drink around the glass, keeping my tone light. She's been acting strange. Long hours, a lot of work trips. They exchange looks but don't say much at first. One of them, Tom, leans forward. You sure everything's okay at home, man? You've mentioned her working late a lot lately. I nod, pretending to think it over. Yeah, it's probably just me overthinking. But something feels off. You know how it is when you just sense it. Tom gives me a sympathetic nod, but his silence speaks louder than words. He knows something's wrong. I can see it in the way he avoids eye contact, how he taps his fingers nervously on the table. When I leave the bar, I feel the seed planted. Soon, the whispers will start. I want her to feel the weight of judgment slowly creeping in from every corner. I want her to wonder who's talking behind her back, to second-guess every conversation. That evening, I'm back at the house, waiting for her to return from her supposed work meeting. She comes through the door later than usual, her face flushed and her smile far too bright. It's clear she's been with him. It's written all over her. My jaw tightens, but I keep my cool, playing the role of the oblivious husband. Hey, she says, throwing her keys on the counter and heading straight for the fridge. Long day. I'll bet, I reply, watching her closely. You must be exhausted. She nods, not really paying attention as she pours herself a glass of wine. I notice her phone light up again, another message she's too quick to check, too quick to hide from me. She doesn't know that I've already got access to everything, her phone, her email, her locations. I've been tracking her for weeks. You've been working late a lot lately, I say casually, walking over to her. She glances up, startled by the directness of my tone, but she recovers quickly. Yeah, things have been crazy at the office. You know how it is. I lean against the counter, my eyes fixed on hers, searching for any crack in her mask. I've been thinking. Maybe you should take some time off. We could go on that trip I mentioned. You and me, a week away from everything. Her face flickers for a moment, just long enough for me to catch it. She doesn't want to go. She's already thinking about how to make excuses, how to keep seeing him without arousing suspicion. Oh, I don't know, she says, swirling her wine glass. Now's not a great time. We're swamped at work. I nod slowly, pretending to buy it. Yeah, I figured you'd say that. She shoots me a quick smile, and for a moment, I wonder if she even feels guilty. Does she have any idea what's about to happen? Does she know I'm already setting the stage for her fall? The next day, while she's at work, I visit the hotel again. I've already arranged for a private investigator to take over. I don't need to keep following her anymore. I know where she goes, and I know who she's with. Now I need undeniable proof to ruin her. The kind that will tear down her reputation, destroy everything she's worked for. I'm not just after a simple divorce. I want to take away everything she values, her career, her friendships, her image. After meeting with the investigator, I feel a sense of grim satisfaction. This is only the beginning. The real damage hasn't even started yet. That evening, Sarah comes home even later than usual. She's dressed up, her hair styled differently, and I can still smell the faint traces of the perfume from the closet, the one I never bought for her. Hey, she says, her voice breezy, like nothing's out of place. She sets her purse down and heads toward the bedroom. I follow her, leaning against the doorway as she changes out of her clothes. You're home later than usual. Everything okay? She glances up briefly, her eyes meeting mine for just a second before she turns away. Yeah, just a long meeting. A meeting that required a dress like that? I ask, keeping my tone casual, even as I feel the rage boiling beneath the surface. She pauses for a split second, but it's enough for me to see the gears turning in her head. She knows something's off, but she doesn't know how much I know. Yeah, she says quickly, pulling on a sweater. It was a client dinner. No big deal. I step into the room, closing the door behind me. You're sure? Because you've been working a lot of late nights recently. She looks up at me, her face tight with a hint of defensiveness. What are you trying to say? I move closer, standing just a few feet from her now. I don't know, Sarah. It just seems like you've been distant. Her eyes narrow slightly, and I can see her mind working, trying to figure out if she's caught. I've been busy. That's all. Busy with work. I ask, my voice sharp, the edge of accusation finally slipping out. She stands there, staring at me, and for the first time in a long time, I see the tiniest crack in her composure. It's small, but it's there. She's starting to sense that something is wrong. Yeah, she says slowly, with work. I don't push it further. Not yet. I need her to feel secure, to think she's still in control. Let her believe her lies for a little longer. Soon, she'll realize just how deep I've cut. The following day, my lawyer sends the paperwork. I'm filing for divorce, but I'm not serving her yet. First, I want the public humiliation, the complete erosion of her carefully curated image. I've already put the private investigator on her case. Photos, videos, everything is being collected. I've also spoken with a few of her colleagues. A couple of them are already raising their eyebrows at her sudden work commitments. It won't take long before the rumors start to spread. The perfect wife, the successful woman who has it all, she's about to lose everything. When she falls, it'll be hard. And I'll be there to watch it happen. The day of reckoning arrives with unsettling calm. I wake up next to her one last time, watching her sleep, unaware of the storm about to tear through her world. The private investigator's final report came in late last night. Pictures, timestamps, evidence as damning as it gets. I'm holding it all in my hands, snapshots of her in his arms, lingering in hotel hallways, their smiles too familiar, their touches too intimate. Today, I strike. I leave the house before she wakes, locking away all sentimentality as I prepare for the final blow. There's no going back. Once I set things in motion, the life she thinks she's built, the lies she's told, will unravel faster than she can keep up. And I'll be the one standing, watching her fall. Around noon, I call her. Hey, I say, keeping my voice casual, though a cold edge sharpens every word. I've got a surprise for you. I've been thinking about what you said, and I want to make it up to you. She sounds intrigued. Oh? What kind of surprise? You'll see. Meet me at that place you love for lunch. You know the one. I'll be there around 1. There's a brief pause before she replies, okay. That sounds great. I'll see you there. As I hang up, I look at the folder sitting beside me, the pictures, the messages, everything. I'm not bringing them to the restaurant. No, that's not where I'll end her. I have bigger plans for that. At the restaurant, I'm already seated when she walks in, looking her usual polished self. She smiles at me, that same practiced, effortless smile I've grown to despise. I wave her over, forcing a pleasant look on my face. The act has to continue for just a little longer. Hey, she says, leaning in to kiss me. This is a nice surprise. I nod, gesturing for her to sit. I figured we could use some time together. Away from all the chaos. She smiles again, taking a sip of the water in front of her. You've been acting different lately. I'm glad we're doing this. I laugh softly, bitterness barely hidden beneath the surface. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot. About us. About everything. Her eyes search mine for a moment, but she doesn't see what's coming. She thinks I'm softening, that maybe I've started to believe her lies again. You know, I continue, keeping my voice calm, I've realized something important recently. She tilts her head, curious. What's that? That trust, once it's broken, it's hard to repair. Don't you think? Her expression flickers, just for a second, but she covers it with a forced laugh. Yeah, I guess that's true. But we're good, right? I mean, we've had our ups and downs, but we're far from good, Sarah, I interrupt, my tone dropping, ice cold. I lean in, my voice just loud enough for her to hear over the din of the restaurant. I know everything. Her smile freezes. What do you mean? I know about him. I know where you've been going, the nights you worked late, the perfume you didn't think I'd notice. I lean back, watching the blood drain from her face as the truth sinks in. I know everything. Her breath catches, panic flashing in her eyes. Listen, I can explain. No. You can't. I cut her off, my voice sharp. There's nothing left to explain. She stares at me, her composure crumbling. For the first time, she looks lost, unsure of what to say or how to salvage this. David, I raise a hand, silencing her. You lied to me. You betrayed me. And now, it's time for you to pay for that. Her face pales, and she reaches across the table, her voice trembling. David, please. We can talk about this. Talk. I laugh bitterly, standing up. We're way past talking. I walk out, leaving her stunned, but that's only the beginning. As I step outside, I send the file to her boss, her closest friends, and her family. All of them get the same message, each one attached with the damning proof of her betrayal. I want her to be destroyed by the people she trusts most. I want her to feel the humiliation that comes with knowing everyone now sees her for what she really is, a liar, a cheater. I don't go home. Instead, I head to the one place I know she won't expect, his place. When I get there, I'm calm, unnervingly so. The building is quiet, the hallways empty. I knock on his door, adrenaline humming beneath my skin as I wait. When he opens it, I can see the confusion in his eyes. He doesn't recognize me at first. Can I help you? He asks, his tone casual, like I'm just some guy at the wrong door. You're sleeping with my wife, I say flatly, watching as the shock registers on his face. What? He stammers, stepping back instinctively. I don't give him a chance to explain. I push past him, into his apartment, slamming the door behind me. Don't bother lying. I've got the proof. I've seen it all. He stares at me, his bravado gone. Look, man, I didn't know she was married. Shut up, I snap, my voice like a whip. I don't care what you knew. I don't care about your excuses. He backs up, raising his hands. What do you want? Money? I'll pay you. I laugh bitterly. Money? No. You don't get it, do you? I step closer, my eyes locked on his. I want you to feel what it's like to lose everything. Just like I'm going to make sure she loses everything. Both of you are going to suffer. He opens his mouth to respond, but I don't wait to hear it. I swing at him, my fist connecting with his jaw, sending him stumbling back. The satisfaction that floods through me is almost overwhelming. This is what I've been waiting for. An hour later, I'm back at the house. Sarah's car is parked outside, but I don't go in. I sit in the driveway, letting the cold air wash over me, calming the storm inside. I've done it. I've cut her down, left her with nothing. By now, her phone has blown up with messages from her family, her friends, her boss. By now, she's realized she's lost everything. I walk in and find her sitting on the couch, her phone clutched in her hand, tears streaming down her face. She looks up at me, broken, destroyed. David, please, she whispers, her voice hoarse. Why? I stare at her for a long moment, feeling nothing but cold satisfaction. Why? Because you betrayed me. And now, you're paying for it. She sobs, crumbling in on herself, but I don't care. I'm beyond caring. I walk past her, heading toward the door. Where are you going? She asks, her voice barely a whisper. Away, I say, my hand on the doorknob. I'm leaving. We're done. She collapses into sobs, but I don't look back. I step out into the night, the door closing behind me with a final, heavy click. We'll never see each other again. And I'm fine with that. In the end, there's nothing left but the bitter taste of betrayal and the satisfaction of revenge. The life we once had is nothing but ashes now. And I walk away, knowing she'll live in the ruins forever.